Hi, this is Mike Jeffers, and welcome to this week's edition of Who's Playing Where and What's Going On. It's this week's Guide to Chicago Jazz for March 5th through March 11th. I know, I can't believe it's March already. It doesn't feel like March, at least when I'm filming this. It's freezing cold outside. It's not snowing, but it's freezing cold. By the way, what a bunch of dud weather predictions this past week. I just have to say so. Ended up canceling one of my gigs because we thought it was going to be the end of the world with the snow, but it wasn't. So I'm sure all of you had the same experience, and hopefully you made it out. I know that Paul Marinaro had a gig on the snow, big snow emergency night on Tuesday night, last Tuesday, but he hung in there. I didn't hang in there. He hung in there, did his gig, and I heard Katarina's was a great success. He was doing a request night at Katarina's. So anyways, I digress. I'd like to welcome Phil on the lights over here, and of course the chef is on the camera. Got a nice email and a bunch of badgering phone calls from a guy named Whammo out in Wonder Lake, and always appreciate it, so keep them coming. I'm not going to answer the phone, but keep it coming. I know my assistant Joe just loves to hear from you. Okay, so what's coming up this week? Well, of course, our weekly e-zine is right below. Just click the e-zine, it'll pop right open. And in this week's e-zine, the gig of the week is Brad Good. Brad Good is coming back to town. He's going to be at the Green Mill this coming weekend, Friday and Saturday, March 8th and 9th. It's a CD release party for him, for a new release that he's got coming out. For those of you that don't know, I'm sure many of you do know Brad Good. Brad Good used to live in town here, and he used to play every Wednesday night. This was even before Kurt Elling, I believe, took over on Wednesdays after Brad left. So he always had a hot band over there. I used to go and check him out when I first came to town. It was always inspiring, so I know he's going to have a great show at the Green Mill. Of course, parking. I always give the parking alerts here. Phil loves it too. Parking at the Green Mill, you can park on the street, but there is a lot behind that's free. So you've got a couple of different options there. Also, in this week's e-zine down below, just click the down below. We're getting a lot of hits and a lot of readings on this e-zine, so I know that it's a nice layout. It's easy to look at, easy to use. So don't forget just to check it out down below. Other notable gigs that are coming up that we mentioned in this week's e-zine: D. Alexander Quartet at the Jazz Showcase coming up this week. Lori Shelley at Katarina's. John Mulder Quartet and Brian Lynch at Andy's, among many others. So be sure to check that out. Just click below, or I know that we have things listed on our jazz calendar too on ChicagoJazz.com. Other things that we have coming up that's listed in our weekly e-zine is the Playboy Jazz Fest. We've got an article and some information on the Playboy Jazz Fest, one of the oldest jazz festivals in the world, the Playboy Jazz Fest. The Montrose Room in Rosemont is going smooth jazz. There's a smooth jazz concert series presented by smoothchicago.com. So we've got a little coverage on that. They've got Larry Carlton coming in town in March, and many others. So be sure to check out that article. Jeremy Pelt, the artist in resident at Columbia College. He's going to be at the Jazz Showcase with the Columbia College Jazz Band this coming week, so you want to make sure you read everything in that e-zine. There's a lot of good articles. Like I always say, it's like a mini version of Chicago Jazz Magazine every week. In addition to all of these gigs, we've got a recommended listening section, which, let's see, what are we doing here? Hardcastle 8th, Trip and Rhythm. And that's a new release coming out there's about 6 or 7 different new releases on there. So you want to kind of get in there so that you stay up to date on who's playing where, who's recording where, I should say, and what's coming out in the next couple of weeks. Of course, we always have our listening of jam sessions, and we have a new jam session I'm going to talk about in a minute in town. And we have a listing of our summer jazz camps. We just put the March-April issue to bed. So yes, it is at the printer and coming out very soon. The cover story is with Jamie Aebersol, the legendary jazz educator Jamie Aebersol. Incredible interview with him. But we also have a summer jazz camp guide in the March-April issue. And you will want to check that out if you are an educator and you have students, or if you are a student and you're looking for more jazz knowledge this summer. Our summer jazz camp guide will be in the March-April issue, but also there's a mini scaled-down version of the Summer Jazz Camp Guide in every issue of the e-zine, of our weekly Who's Playing Where Around Town e-zine for the next month. So make sure you check that out. And of course, we have listings of over 50 musicians that are members on ChicagoJazz.com, so if you don't know who somebody is, it's a great way to find things out. Of course, I always invite everybody to peruse our Chicago Jazz Musicians Guide that we have. So check that out on ChicagoJazz.com, and lots of other things. Okay, new jam session. Jam session alert. Jam session alert, yes. There's a new jam session at Cafe Zalute, which is at 9501 West Devon Avenue in Rosemont. It's pretty much across the street from the big, gigantic Rivers Casino that they just built. Cafe Zalute's got a great bar area, and that's where the jam session is. Steve Hashimoto, Frank Portalese, Joe Valentino, and Rich Corpolango are running it. Obviously, all well-known musicians in Chicago. And it's from 7:30 till 10:30 every Wednesday at Cafe Zalute. So be sure to stop there. Be sure to support the live music, especially if you're in that area. You know, actually, if you're in that area, think about this, okay? You got Mondays at the Serbian Village, which is on Irving Park Road, Tom Muellner's jam session. Wednesdays at Cafe Zalute, and then Thursdays at the Chambers. There's 3 jam sessions a week now, kind of out. You know, I know the Serbian Village is in the city, but it's on the north side, so it's close enough to call it close to those. So make sure you check it out. So Cafe Zalute in Rosemont, 9501 West Devon in Rosemont. Make sure you get out there. Steve Hashimoto, Frank Portalese, Joe Valentino, and Rich Corpolango, 7:30 to 10:30. So there's your jam session alert for this week. Of course, we've got some Chicago Jazz sponsored events coming up. Actually, one in particular. Elaine Dame is going to be at the Open Door Theater as part of the Rhythm, Rhyme, and the Refrain. And she's going to be doing a tribute to Strayhorn and Ellington's music this week. So that's Saturday, March 9th at 8 o'clock at the Open Door Theater in Oak Park. Open Door Theater, actually Open Door Rep, opendoorrep.org is the website, opendoorrep.org, or elainedame.com. You can find out a lot of information about that. Okay, that's what I have to cover here. Now, we're going to start a brand new segment here on the Guide to Chicago Jazz, and that is questions from the viewers. Yes, we have questions from the viewers. It's always good to get questions, and actually I think it's better for me just to answer them here rather than send back an email, because some of you might be wondering the same things, and this way I can relay the information to the masses rather than just to one person. So, question number 1. This is from Garish from Mumbai, India. I'm not making this up. Garish from Mumbai, India sent us in an email this week, and it says, greatly enjoyed your interview with trumpeter Art Hoyle. Where can I write a fan letter to this great jazz trumpeter? Well, Garish, thank you for reading the Art Hoyle interview. It's amazing to me how far of a reach we have. I know we have actually paid subscribers in Spain, England, Asia, Greece, and apparently we have a lot of online readers in Japan and Russia, and obviously there's at least one reader in India. So, Garish, you can just send us an email at info@chicagojazz.com, and we will pass that along to Art. Art's obviously one of the greatest trumpet players in the Chicagoland area, nicest guy, and I'm sure that when he gets it, he'll probably respond back to you. So just send us an email at info@chicagojazz.com, and we will send that off to Art. I know he'll be happy to hear from you. Question number 2 comes from Jazzy Jane. Jazzy Jane in Crystal Lake. Now, see, this is what I'm talking about. I love these monikers. It's kind of like a sports station where it's like Stan from Belmont calls it. So this is Jazzy Jane from Crystal Lake. How can I get my gigs listed on ChicagoJazz.com? Well, pretty simple. Just go to ChicagoJazz.com's online jazz calendar, scroll to the bottom, and you will see a form. Fill that out and submit it, and you will be added to ChicagoJazz.com's jazz calendar. Now, it usually takes about 48 hours because we have to review it, we have to confirm it, and then we'll post it once we know all the information is correct that we've got. So, ChicagoJazz.com, go to the jazz calendar, scroll down Jazzy Jane, and you're good. And right back, because I love that name, Jazzy Jane. I love it. Question number 3 comes from Jimmy in South Chicago. Mike, you always talk about everyone else performing, but do you play anywhere in Chicago that I can come out and see you play? Well, I don't like to talk about myself here because this is not what it's about. It's about promoting the Chicagoland jazz scene. But I guess I am a jazz musician as well. So yes, I do play every Tuesday, every Thursday right now at Bar Umbriago, which is at 6 West Hubbard. It's right on the corner of State and Hubbard, kitty corner from Andy's. Tuesday nights I'm there with Stephanie Browning, vocalist Stephanie Browning, and we do kind of a mixture of straight ahead and some popish jazzed up tunes and some original tunes. And then on Thursdays I'm there with the band Spiral, which has Roger Harris on keys and either Bill Boris or Mike Frost on sax or guitar respectively. And we do kind of a mixture of straight ahead and some smooth jazz things and kind of funkier jazz things. So that's at Bar Umbriago. Tuesday nights I start at 7 o'clock until 10 o'clock, and then Thursdays I'm there from 8 until 11. So those are my steadies. Now I play a lot of different places, so be sure to check out my website on ChicagoJazz.com, as you should check out everybody's website on ChicagoJazz.com. Okay, well that will do it for this week's edition of this guide to Chicago Jazz, the Guide to Chicago Jazz. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to start adding different things in, and I really appreciate all of the comments and all of the people writing in and telling me different information and telling me what to do. I know we're being seen by a lot of people, and if you're not watching this video, you're at least reading the e-zine because it's incredible the amount of response we're getting. So keep it up. Love to hear from you, and hopefully I'll see you somewhere out on the scene this week.